How's it going, guys? Cody, guys, back again, dropping another video. I didn't drop a video yesterday. I was out on a piss in Leeds with a mate of mine. We went for some dinner, and then me and Jamie hit a few pubs and had a few beers and stuff around Matthew Street and around just the city centre of Liverpool. So I'm back today, guys. As you can tell from the title of this video, it's going to be on a report that's on HMP Leeds, which is a Cat B prison housing 1,127 prisoners. It's being branded, guys, Britain's most overcrowded prisons, right? Obviously, ideally what they'd like to see, or what I would like to see, is one prisoner per cell. But you've got doubles and stuff like that. There's a lot of double cells. You're only placing a single cell if you're classed as racially high risk. Cleaners get single cells and stuff like that. Right, guys, so inspectors found levels of violence of all kinds were far too high. Now, this is not something new within prisons and stuff. It's indicative of what's happening in prisons up and down the country, guys, to be honest with you. But again, you've got the Independent Monitoring Board, and then you've got Her Majesty's Inspector of Prisons, right? The Her Majesty's Inspector of Prisons have blown the lid on Birmingham prisons, on Strangeways, on HMP Liverpool, Belmarsh, Wandsworth. They just go around the prison system, guys, right? In my honest thingy, they're very good at what they do, and they blow the whistle, right? And it gets out into the media, and it highlights the failings of the Ministry of Justice, which are failing prisoners, families, and even prison officers, guys. It states here where 91% of the cells were holding more inmates than they were designed for. So you've got very small cells. You're having to urinate and defecate in front of each other, which is it's highly embarrassing, guys, right? But it's jail, goes on. But small cells, overcrowded, means that obviously the cells are designed for one prisoner and the housing two. So yeah, it says here there were 4 self-inflicted deaths at the prison since it was last inspected in 2015. Then there's another death during a visit in October and November. Her Majesty's Inspector of Prisons also found in a survey, right, for those that don't know, guys, let me break this down for you, right? Like the survey, right, on the kiosk, or I don't know if they use kiosks at HMP Leeds, I've not been in HMP Leeds, or they do it on paper, right? But a survey will come up on your news feed, right? When you log on, right, you've got like, you'll get notifications and shit, right? And it'll be like, oh, this is happening in the prison, that's happening, blah, 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 right? Now a survey will pop up, and I think like they offer you like £1 credit, or sometimes there's no incentive at all. And you can do this anonymous, like answering questions on this electronic survey and stuff, right? 63% of prisoners said it was easy to get illicit drugs within the prison. That's what the survey said from the prisoners, guys, right? The Chief Inspector of Prisons, guys, Peter Clark, he heads up the Her Majesty's Inspector of Prisons, guys. The Her Majesty's Inspector of Prisons do a great job in highlighting the failings of the MOJ. I support them fully. I just wish that they'd go to prisons more often. Because like I say, but let's go into it. So it was last inspected in December 2015. That's 2.5 years ago, right? So that needs to be addressed again very, very soon. On that occasion, there had been a deterioration in standards with declines in 3 of our 4 health prisoner tests. This inspection found a further decline in the area of purposeful activity and no improvement in the other 3 tests, right? So it's obviously the conditions, treatment of prisoners, the regimes, healthcare, looking at violence, looking at self-harm, looking at drug use, things like that. So perhaps this should come as no surprise, given the prison is one of the most seriously overcrowded prisons in the country. Mr. Clark added there were some cautious grounds for optimism and noted that unlike other prisons, HMP Leeds had not slipped dramatically backwards in its performance, but it had also not gone forwards, guys. So for me, saying that there's cautious grounds for optimism doesn't cut it, right? Improve it or close it. That's my honest assessment. when you're housed in squalid conditions, guys, and overcrowded prisons and stuff, and the regime's harsh, and you're spending 22, 23 hours a day, or depends what regime they're running at, HMP Leeds and stuff like that. But like I say, brutalising prisoners, living in them conditions, no purposeful activity, little employment, little or no association. Well, not no association, but being, depending on what regime they're running, if they're getting out for an hour or two a day, the conditions and stuff like that, it's not conducive to rehabilitating prisoners and reforming them. And this is the problem with the prison system, guys. The prison system's as broken as those that are entering it, unfortunately. He added, while it had not managed to buck trends in violence and the prevalence of drugs that had afflicted much of the wider prison estate, neither had it experienced the shocking high levels of increase seen in many other prisons, right? Now, it's not a competition with other prisons saying, oh, well, we've not had as much as them and blah, blah, blah. The facts are, those prisoners in that prison are going to be suffering, right? And like I say, people that want to brutalise prisoners, does it aid rehabilitation? No. So then with fewer police on the streets, reoffending costing £15 billion a year, and the fact that prison simply doesn't work, you've got people leaving this prison system very angry. They've not been reformed or rehabilitated. They go back to crime, fewer police on the streets, and then, like I say, people, it breeds crime. That's my honest assessment. Makes monsters, and it just, you see the problems that in the system and stuff. Michael Spur. Now this guy's a fucking idiot. Right, I'll tell you straight. He's the chief executive of Her Majesty's Prison and Probation Service. Right, this guy took a £20,000 bonus on top of his already fucking whopping wages. Right. There's people dying on his watch. You've got record numbers of assaults and self-harm year on year. We're set to see record numbers of suicides this year, sadly. And this guy, rather than saying, "Oh, I'm not going to take that £20,000 bonus because I'm simply not," he's in charge of the prison system within the Ministry of Justice, right? With HMPPS, right? He's in charge of them, right? So he's failing because any deaths in custody and the state of the prison system, suicide attempts, self-harm, blah, 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 it's all on them. They're in charge of sorting it out, and they haven't got a fucking brain cell between them. They're clueless, guys. I've been there, I've got first-hand experience. They've got academic qualifications, but that doesn't put you in the right place to reside over people's lives and stuff, especially people you can't relate to. This guy took home a £20,000 bonus on top of his whacking wages, right? They get about 80, 90 grand a year, these guys, right? And then he gets a 20 grand bonus. Do the reward failure now? Is that what's happening? So this scumbag, and that's what he is, said levels of violence and self-harm and drug use at HMP Leeds are too high. No shit, Sherlock. But decisive action is being taken to tackle the issues, right? Generic response, guys. Same old shit. Just fucking, like, they read, I'm sure they've got some fucking, someone passes them a card or a piece of paper and says, right, say this. It's a generic response, guys, right? It's not from the heart. They just throw it out. Yes, it's too high. We've got it in hand and all this shit, right? It's a joke, right? But decisive action has been taken to tackle the issues. A specialist intelligence unit has been set up, and the prison is working with the police to target drug suppliers. They're obviously talking about contraband getting into the prisons and stuff like that. But when it's talking about drug suppliers and stuff, right? Look at your own prison officers. Prison officers bringing drugs in. Drones are bringing drugs in. It's been handed over on visits, right? It's been smuggled in when people are getting sent to jail and stuff, right? For those that don't know, guys, you've never been in prison, you've just watched this video for the first time, you've just come to my channel, where there's contraband, so you're talking new psychoactive substances like spice, illicit drugs in prison, you've got debt. Where you've got debt, you've got fear, bullying, intimidation, and violence, guys. Simply put, yeah, it's a big problem. But it's big business within prisons. Very, very lucrative for people getting the drugs into prison. Body-worn cameras are now in place to support staff in reducing violence. Now, just let me stop you there, right? So rather than implementing changes and stuff and speaking to prisoners and working with prisoners, right, about what they want to get out of their sentence and stuff like that, and trying to reduce and trying to improve conditions within the prisons, decreasing prison numbers, improving conditions for prisoners, slapping a body-worn camera on a screw to support, apparently, support staff in reducing violence. Doesn't reduce violence at all, right? And also, because I've obviously worked in prisons where these cameras have been introduced and stuff, if the screws are going to go and kick the fuck out of a prisoner, do you think that gets turned on, that camera? No, it fucking doesn't. But if a prisoner's kicking off with the prison officers, oh, quick, record, right? But when they're twisting somebody up, the footage gets deleted, right? Or they don't record, sorry. And if it does get recorded by accident, they speak to security and security fucking delete the fucking footage. We have also strengthened incident management and recording systems. Does that improve prison conditions? Is that going to stop people slashing up? Is that going to stop people taking their own life or attempting to take their own life? Is it going to stop them setting cell fires? Is it going to stop them fucking the violence and stuff? No, it's not. Right? So putting body-worn cameras in place is not going to reduce violence, right? If a prisoner's kicking off, do you honestly believe he looks, right, and thinks, oh, I'm on CCTV or I'm on this prison officer's body cam, that he's going to stop doing what he's doing? Bloody fuck, right? And we've strengthened our incident management, so reporting of incidents and stuff like that, and probably trying to work on if an alarm goes off, a panic alarm or personal alarm, and that more prison officers come, and recording systems, guys. That's it. There's no thingy for the prisoners there. It's all to do with prison officers' safety, blah blah blah, right? So rather than they should be addressing why prisoners are kicking off, and improving conditions, which would then, and then, like I say, get more employment and stuff, get them out of the cell, because boredom's a fucking dangerous thing in prison. But like I say, guys, they just want more cameras, more bars. Oh, we're doing this, we're doing that. They're fucking useless, guys, right? It really annoys me. You need to improve the prison system, right? And work with the prisoners you want to rehabilitate, rather than dictating to them and fucking brutalising them and making them live in squalid, shit, overcrowded conditions, right? Make them feel like they're part of society, because, like I say, by brutalising prisoners, right, all it does is make them more desensitised, more dehumanised, more demoralised, and even more disenfranchised than when they entered, right? And then they leave prison, having not been rehabilitated. What happens? They go back to crime, fewer police on the streets, and all these people that want to brutalise prisoners and stuff, they then shouldn't complain if they then become victims of someone that's got out of prison and goes on to reoffend. You want to brutalise them, that's not going to aid rehabilitation, that's not going to reform people. Prisons should be places of reform, rehabilitation, skills training, reintegration and resettlement. Every prisoner that works in the prison system should get minimum wage. And then, because you can, under IEP, for those that don't know, IEP stands for Incentives and Privileges, your earning is 10 times your IEP status, right? So when you're enhanced, whether you're convicted or you're remand, you could spend more. Then you've got standard entry, which is your first 2 weeks in the prison, and then you've got your basic at the bottom, right, where you can spend I think it's about £4 a week in the prison I was in. But like I say, you can only spend so much on the canteen a week. The rest of the money should be put into a savings account that the prisoner can't touch or access. Upon release, the prisoner should be given a lump sum, right? The longer you've been in, the more money will occur if you've been working whilst you're in prison. If your money management's piss poor, the prison should be saying, look, we will put some money down on a bond for you on a property, so that when you've got out, you've got a foundation to build up from. You've got skills training, you've got a roof over your head, because not everyone leaves prison with somewhere to go. Prisoners on short sentences or long sentences are losing their accommodation, right? And like I say, it's just the swing, it's just the revolving door and stuff. I've got a lot of ideas how to change the prison system. I'm no expert, guys. I'm only an expert in my own life, right? And I don't have all the answers neither. But like I say, I've been there and I've experienced it, and I'm in a better place than these fucking highly educated dickheads in the government and the Ministry of Justice who haven't got a clue. All that fucking academic qualifications, guys, are not a brain cell between them. The prison system needs consistency, clarity, improvements, more prison officers. The only reason I want more prison officers, guys, so that prisoners get out for more than an hour a day, or 2 hours a day, or 3 hours a day, 4 hours, depending on what regime you're in, what prison you're in. If you're in a Cat A prison, you're going to spend more time behind your door than you are, say, a Cat B. You'll spend more time at your cell in a Cat C, and obviously Cat D is an open prison, and prisoners go out into the local area and work and stuff like that. So yeah, So you get the more freedoms because prisons are categorised: Cat A, Cat B, Cat C, Cat D. Cat A's, right, Strange Ways is a Cat A, but not every prisoner's in there is a Cat A. There's only actually 40 prisoners in that prison as a Cat A. It's actually a multi-category prison. Then you've got your Cat B's, your Cat C's, and then, like I say, your Cat D's, right, which is your open prisons. And it's structured for your release. The lower the category of the prison, the more freedom. And it's supposed to be like getting you ready to go back into society. But because prison doesn't work, people go back to crime, and then, like I say, reoffending is costing £50 million a year. Right, guys, I'm going to leave this video here. Like, comment, subscribe. If there's any videos you want me to do, any advice you'd like me to do, or drop a video on, or you've got any questions you'd like me to answer, like a Q&A or something, put them in the comment section below, and we'll do a video on that. I'm going to put the link for the story to do with Armley Prison in the description below, so feel free to read it at your own leisure. And everything that I've said there was quotes from that actual article, plus my own interpretations as well. Right, guys, speak to you all soon. Like, comment, subscribe, guys. Bye.